Okay, Nandita, how are you?
Fine, sir.
Where are you from, Nandita?
Sir, I'm from Kolkata, West Bengal.
Okay, you are in class 12 currently. Just
Yes,
given
sir.
the exams. Okay. And did you write JEE?
Yes, sir.
Uh, how did you do your JEE Advanced? How much are you expecting?
Sir, I haven't calculated yet.
Okay. The first choice would be ISI.
Yes, sir.
Really?
Yes.
Great. So, Nandita, what is your favorite topic in mathematics?
Sir, number theory, Euclidean geometry, algebra.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Nandita, first of all, if there are two numbers, m and n, both are integers, such that m plus n is 190. M and n are co-prime. How many ordered pairs will be there? Positive integers.
Sir, by co-prime, do we mean that they are prime and the difference is 2?
No, they're relatively prime. GCD is 1. Co-prime means GCD is 1. Okay, what is the thought process, Nandita?
Sir, I couldn't get, I'm just trying by putting the numbers.
Okay,
1 and
but that is
189.
okay.
3, 187.
So 2 and 188 is not going to work. 3 and 187, is it going to work? Okay. 4, 186 is not going to work. So basically, one observation that you can take is all
Odd numbers.
even numbers are not going to work. But again, all odd numbers, are they going to work? No. For example,
No,
5,
sir.
180
5 won't work.
is not going to work. So again, can you uh, generalize this, or maybe on the basis of the pattern that you're seeing, find a pattern, or maybe find a process to answer this? So clearly M is not going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 188. So even numbers are all cancelled out. So we're left with odd numbers. I'm talking about M. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and so on up to 189. This is M. So how can we generalize this? Does it have anything to do with the prime factorization of 190? So m plus n was 2 into 5 into 19. So let us talk about 2. If m is a multiple of 2, right hand side is a multiple of 2, that means n would also be a multiple of 2. And that is why all the even numbers were cancelled out. Because if this is a multiple of 2, right hand side is also a multiple of 2, this would also be a multiple of 2. Similarly, can we say the same thing for 5 also? If m is a multiple of 5, right hand side is a multiple of 5, then can we say this would also be a multiple of 5? That means all the multiples of 5 are going to cancel out. Again, even multiples have already been cancelled. So we are going to cross the odd multiples of 5, that is 5. We're going to cancel 5, 15, 25, 35, and so on up to 185. These multiples are going to get cancelled out. And same way, can we say for 19 also, if m is a multiple of 19, if m is a multiple of 19, then again, and this is the multiple of 19, n would also be a multiple of 19. Right? So n, all the multiples of 19 or even odd multiples of 19 are going to cancel out. So 19 into 1, 19 into 3, 19 into 5 are going to cancel out. Again, 95 is contained here also. So again, we have to be aware that the common multiples would be cancelled twice. So again, we have to cancel them once. So all the remaining numbers would be the answer. All right? Okay. Okay. So Nandita, can you prove that if GCD of AB is 1, then GCD of A and B minus AK is also 1, where K is any integer?
So we can assume that there's a number n which divides A as well as it divides B minus AK. Then A can be written as n alpha uh, and B minus AK can be written as beta n.
Hmm?
We substitute A there, B minus n. So from here, n divides B or beta plus nk divides B, and we have assumed that n is not equal to 1. So we can say that this is not possible.
Okay. Can you do the same for this? If GCD of AB is 1, then GCD of A square plus B square and AB is also 1. Okay, Nandita, can you share the thought process?
I was trying the same way, but here it is coming that a plus b whole square is equal to n into alpha plus 2 beta. So we can say that both n and alpha plus 2 beta has to be a perfect square because a plus b whole square is there.
Hmm.
I can't proceed any further.
Okay, so I'll just give you a hint. Let's say if there is a two coprime numbers are 2 and 3, right? Can I say 2 square and 3 would also be coprime, right? So just prove that A and B, if this is 1, then A and B minus AK, or A plus B, we can say this is 1. Just proved, right? So K can be minus 1 here. And if this is 1, can I say A and A plus B whole square is also going to be 1? So basically, you can take this. A square plus B square gets formed. Okay, now you can try the other property. So basically, the main property is this. If this is GCD of A and B is same as GCD of A, comma B minus AK. So using the property, this and this, you can try to chalk out these two numbers. Basically, A and A square plus B square plus 2AB. Can I say minus 2B times A? Here the K would be 2B. This minus K times this. So again, this cancels out. So we have A and A square plus B square. GCD is 1. Right. Similarly, we can do B and A square plus B square. GCD is also 1. So if A and this is coprime, this and this are coprime. So can I say the product and this would also be coprime? Right. So we can always use these properties in proof. Okay. Nanita, if let's say there are n lines which are drawn, no two parallel, no three concurrent. Right. So let's say L1, L2, L3, L4, and let's say there are n lines. No two parallel, no three concurrent. How many regions would be there? So again, you define a region. It can be bounded like this. It can be unbounded like this. For example, in 4 lines, how many regions are there? Can you count? So this is 1, this is 2, this would be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 9, 10, this is 11. So total of 11 regions when there are 4 such lines. Can you generalize this for n lines? You can think out aloud.
Sir, if there are n lines, there would be one figure which has n sides, and similarly, there will be figures which will have n minus 1 sides. So we can
You're talking
find
about the bounded. So again, how will you count? So basically, how will you tell there will be exactly one figure? For example, in this case, there is exactly one figure having 4 sides, but 2 figures having 3 sides. And there will be a lot of unbounded regions also. Can you start from the start? Keep on drawing a line and then maybe find the number of regions. So for example, if there is line L1, how many regions are there?
2 regions would be there.
So L1, there are 2 regions. So if you add another line, L2,
4 regions.
basically 2 more regions have been added. So what happens if you add the third line, which is non-concurrent, non-parallel? So how many regions get added?
3 regions.
And can you define these 3 regions? So basically, can you justify how there would be 3 regions which would get added?
One completely bounded and 2 non-bounded.
Yeah. So basically, so when a line gets added, there were initially 4 regions. Region 1, 2, 3, 4. These were the 4 regions after L2. So when a line 3 has been added, so basically it is going to pass through 3 of these 4 regions always. And that is why those 3 will be split into 2 each. For example, this region 2 has been split, let's say 2A, 2B, right? So plus 3 get added. Region 3 has been split, this and this. Region 4 has been split. Is this clear? Now, thinking upon this, just try to develop the process.
So if we draw the fourth line, it will pass through 4 regions and divide it into another 4 will be added. So till n, we'll get uh,
Till n, what would be the formula?
1 plus n into n plus 1 by 2 regions.
Right, so this is how you need to think it through. So, Nalita, yes, we are ending the interview now. So, a few pointers would be first, when asked your favorite topic, you don't have to mention everything under the roof, right? So, when I asked and favorite topic, you mentioned number theory, you mentioned Euclidean geometry, you mentioned one more thing, I don't remember. You mentioned 3, 4 things, right? So, favorite means one. Okay, so just keep in mind, favorite means one. If you want to mention, so again, it is not like you're inviting them to ask questions. So basically, when you say 3 topics, you're asking them कि मुझसे कुछ भी पूछ लो. You understand Hindi, right? You're asking them कि कुछ भी कर लो, right? So so that looks a bit impolite. So when asked about your favorite topic, mention one, maximum 2, not 3 or 4 or 5. 3, 4, 5 means anything under the roof. Favorite would mean, either it would be favorite or mean, or they would ask the topic of interest. So mention 1 or 2. Right? So don't mention 3, 4 like you did. That is one. Number two is, so basically, if it is a simple question, which mostly it will be in the interview, right? The questions I asked were on the trickier side, almost all of them. If it is a simple question, and if you're able to answer, if you know that you know the answer, again, you'll be able to quickly tell them. That is no issue. But again, if it is a tricky question, like the question that I asked, in which you took some time, right? So after a point, maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes, you start thinking out aloud, right? So basically, if you're stuck somewhere, so just start thinking out aloud, saying, okay, so again, whatever thoughts are there in your mind, you just pour them out, right? So even if you're stuck at some point, right? So start thinking. So this is how I've been thinking. This is how it should be there, but I'm stuck at here. So if they want, they can give you hint, and they will give you hint definitely. Right. So instead of saying nothing, just think out aloud. That is another one. This is something which I mentioned on the Telegram channel also. Right. So think out aloud. So don't wait for maybe 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and give them time and think and make them think that you don't know. It may happen that whatever you're thinking is in the right direction, which you were. For example, in this question, you were thinking correctly, but again, you took some time. So again, just think out aloud. So even if you know, for example, if you know this, just don't solve the entire thing and then say. So if you know that you can reach to the solution, just think out aloud. Just tell them this is how you're thinking and this is how you'll reach the answer. So even if uh, you're thinking incorrectly, they'll correct you there and then. They do give a lot of hints, right? So you can take those hints and again correct. So again, they do not expect you to be 100% right. Again, no one can be 100% right. If they want, you to falter, they can ask questions of any difficulty level, right? But that won't happen. They would ask you simple questions, the kind of questions that you expect, that they expect you to know. Maybe they'll ask one or two questions which they do not expect you to know. But again, in that questions also, just try to tell them what you're thinking, even if you're not able to get to the answer, right? So that is another point. The third point is smile. You don't smile, do you? Right. So maintain this smile. Try to maintain this smile throughout the interview, right? So don't be, all serious, right? So just smile whenever you can while entering the hall also, and in between, whatever they ask you, because the starting would be very cordial. The interview would be cordial. So just try to smile in front of it. It does put a good impression, right? So that is the third point. Yeah, that is it. The fourth point as written was confidence, but yes, so try to sound more confident. But that would happen automatically once you start thinking out aloud, right? So these are the few pointers from my side. We'll have one more round, Nandita. When is your interview?
The 24th.
24th. So we'll have one more round early next week, and
Yes.
we'll continue from there.
Sir, can
Yeah,
I ask a few questions?
yeah, please.
Sir, there was mention that we have to carry some documents related to academic achievements. What should they be?
Academic achievements can be, if you did you clear any Olympiad?
Sir, I got a merit certificates.
Yeah, that is good enough. That is good enough. So merit certificates and maybe your 12th, 10th mark sheets.
So the rank cards are not required, right? The JEE mains rank cards.
You can take those. You can take those. But yes, but you should make it very clear, pretty evident to them that your first preference has always been ISI.
And sir, I'm not comfortable with calculus much. How do I mention this?
Don't mention. I mean, if they have to ask, they'll ask questions on calculus, right? So again, if they ask the area of interest, just mention, pure mathematics and, Euclidean geometry, but don't mention all these topics. So if you are comfortable with number theory, mention number theory. And you can probably straight away mention that I'm, uh, very in, I mean, this pure geometry like number theory and Euclid geometry, this interests me a lot. But again, if they have to ask question, they will ask question, irrespective of whether you mention it or not.
Okay, sir. And any basic theories required, and where do I study it from?
See, if you cleared ISI UGB, I'm assuming that basic theories are all covered, so that is one. I'll send you sample questions, some questions that you can prepare in addition to what. And one more important thing is, so interview. So one minute is left. So one important thing is you should know whatever questions you wrote, answers you wrote in UGB. So they have those copies with you, your copy with them, right? So for whatever you wrote, whatever answers you wrote, you should be having a fair bit of idea about them. And also, whatever questions you were not able to do, try to do those questions also. It would give them a good impression that these are the questions that you were not able to solve in the exam, but you made it a point that you did those questions after the exam.
Okay, sir.
Yes, and smile. Smile is the most important thing. Okay,
Thank you.
chalo, all the best.